Good morning. Hello, hello. Good morning, Cindy. Well. So, welcome to another episode. This is Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here on this lovely Saturday morning. It is, Debbie, it is Saturday. And you have to put up with me for the next 59 minutes. Hopefully, everybody can handle that. So, sorry, you got to get some jokes in early, I got to capture everybody's mood. I got to see how everybody's doing. So, good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Carmen. Good morning, Nicole. And with everybody would do me such a great honor and quickly put into the chat room a very happy birthday to Nicole there. It's her birthday today, so we want to wish her a wonderful day, even though she is across the globe from us. She's 7 hours in front of us, so she's already well into her birthday, literally. So, but we want to wish Nicole a very special happy birthday. And so we are at it again. It is fantastic. I am excited to be here, as always, because I love doing this. And it's um, you know, it's kind of cool because I was sitting there looking back and I was trying to remember if I've ever really done a real, specific, one topic show. And I think I have, but at the same time, I don't think I have either. So, but because a lot of times I try to just have several different, topics. So that way it's not just one thing the entire time. Good morning, Nicole or Sharon. And we, so it's kind of, it'll be interesting once we get into this, just to kind of stay on one topic. I have, because I know I've done like some reviews, like when I did the movie stuff and working on set, but you know that's wasn't really, well, it's a topic, but it's not so much of a topic. So but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I mean, you're going to see me glancing over this direction a lot because I do have a bunch of notes, and I am going to do a little bit of reading because I want to give you guys, you know, accurate information, at least from a definition perspective. Good morning, Jill. And I'm also going to be staring at my phone, so forgive me if I'm, doing one of these things and looking all over the place. I mean, normally I kind of look around the room anyway, but there might be a little bit more because, again, I want to stay on topic as much as possible. And so that'll be exciting for me because, like I said, I'm not used to completely staring at everything. And so even now I'm kind of going back to something real quick that I did not prep. See, that's how it goes. But see, I like to sort of live on the edge a little bit. I don't want this to be a cookie cutter type of show. Never did, you know. So, but actually, screw that. I'm just going to go because I have it someplace else. We So as I said, I wanted to talk real briefly before we get into the main topic. And the one thing I wanted to do was, as of yesterday, and I forgot about it. I was going to like put these all in my phone for the year, and I think I posted it. I think I did, and I forgot to like put them in my calendar so I could like start warning, or at least be warned, of this said type of event. And I forgot about it. So if you guys didn't see my post yesterday, or maybe you've seen some others, or other people maybe have started to say it, but yeah, Debbie, I mean, we can, but we can, fly in the seat of our pants. I mean, it's fun, it keeps us alive. It, lets you know that, it doesn't have to be always, everything has to be hardcore set, but that's what makes it fun. And I like that. I like kind of just, not like an adrenaline junkie or anything, but it's just kind of, exciting that you have to be in that moment. And that's the point. We're in that moment together. So, but as I was saying, we do have an event that's literally just started. And most of you have seen these or read these, or maybe you've experienced it, but we have begun the Mercury in retrograde. So the first one of 2022 and it started yesterday, January 14th, and will go until February 3rd. Now, Alexander, if you didn't see my post, let me just read a couple of things. Now, I got this via my good friend Carmen, who's in the chat room and watching. She, I mean, like I said, I forgot about it, and that's why I got great friends that just kind of shoot me these things, and I'm like, oh man, of them, but you forget about. Hey, good morning, Margaret, and yeah, so I like, so I really love my friends. they they're kind of like the people that knock on your door and be like, hey, guess what, so I do appreciate that and love that very much. So I would have wondered, because if I wouldn't have seen this, if Carmen wouldn't have sent it to me, I would have been like, a couple days from now, I'd have been like, what is going on? And then I would have put it out there like, anybody know what's going on? And somebody had been like, oh, we're in the middle of this. I'm like, see, so it never fails. When you got a million things going on, I mean, that's the problem. So, hey, Carrie, good morning. And so again, so we're in Mercury retrograde. I wanted to read the things that that Carmen, posted me, because it was like a meme. Well, not really a meme. I hate to say it like that, but it was a post of it. But just read a couple of them, because I think it's important for the rest of you. It's important for you guys to focus on these things, and even there's one word in there that says focus. But anyway, so main thing is, like, I think we talked about, and you guys know that there's been tons of things been going on, especially for me and a lot of others. And it's interesting is that since we went through all that we went through, those that were really dealing with it, me, especially right now for the next couple weeks, one of the main things is rest and meditate, which makes perfect sense. Now after all the releasing and upgrading and just getting a lot of the stuff out of your systems and stuff, now's the point where now you got let your body, let your mind recover. And so that's the whole point, is resting is going to help with your body, and meditating is going to help with your clarity, and start to reset everything. So that way, after February 3rd, now we can move into the next phase. The other thing to do is just make time for reflection. And that, has to deal with just going back within yourself. I mean, obviously dealing with what we all just went through last couple. I mean, I've been doing for months, but even just so much in December. Now, you can look at it in many different ways if you want to go down that spiritual path or holistic areas and things like that. But, you can also look at the holidays. A lot of holidays are fun, they're exciting, but at the same time, they can be stressful too. So even just reflecting on that and just knowing that, hey, I got through that, and now, we're into the new year and we can push forward. So that's another thing to do. But reflecting is just, it's supposed to be done in a positive way, of course. I wouldn't tell you to do something because, you should be like, thinking hard on a negative situation or whatever. That's not the point. Another thing is, and this was great because I did post this the other day, pay special attention to dreams. And of course, we'll go into that, so I'm not going to elaborate on that right now. So that's kind of cool. And then careful whose energy you absorb. So again, obviously you have people around you, people get cranky, they're having a bad day. And, if they're in that thing, you kind of have to put that wall up, and a lot of times just in your mind's eye, just imagine that there's a wall, even though you can still see them, but imagine that there's just like, ice wall or, transparent wall that's right between you. So that way you don't take on any of their negative energies, that, because if it gets on you, it's going to drag you down. It might make you angry, especially if they're angry and stuff. So obviously you want to keep anything that doesn't necessarily belong to you away. Focus on yourself, focus on self-love. Again, kind of goes with some of the other things. The idea is to make sure you are happy with yourself. I mean, don't be sitting there saying, well, I wish I looked like this, or I need to lose this, or don't do that. Remember that you're who you are as a person, and love that. Love yourself. I mean, I think we've all said it, we've all know it, but you just need to do it. Let's see. Take things with a grain of salt. Obviously, it's kind of self-explanatory, but a lot of times situations pop up, don't blow them up into something that isn't necessary. We've all done it. You hasn't, and that's just human nature. We do that, but obviously what you want to do is sort of think about it for a second before you react. And even if you have to bite your lip or get some rawhide and gnaw on that for a minute so you can de-stress yourself, whatever it takes. um, and then the last thing that was on the list is finish things that you started a while ago. So lots of different things you guys might be into. Maybe you're trying to study for something, or you're getting, looking to get a new job, or you're, me writing a book. I should get back on that. So many people would like to read my book. I should get back on there and finish it. So that might be something I'm going to start, tapping into here. Not that I don't got a billion other things going on, which is, par for the course, but, um, but that's just the thing you do, Jeff. You got lots of things to finish, and and Jeff, you're going to have to do a better job at editing, because I don't want to hear, you're working a week for 30 seconds. I just don't want that anymore. I need a solid day. I need, 5 minutes in one day. Okay. So get on that, buddy. So, not that he's going to listen to me. So, um, but yeah, so keep in mind. So like the whole thing is, watch yourselves. Right now, take it easy. Go big or go home. Exactly, Jeff. um, but be careful. Take it easy right now for the next several weeks. There's no rush. There's no hurry. For a lot of things. Doesn't mean that, you still can't, you're not going to stop your life. You're not going to stop functioning. You still have to do everything as normal as possible, but just take it easy as much as you can. Or if you can do it, for the next several weeks, might as well. I probably going to be doing the same thing. I've already said that I was going to keep, checking on myself, seeing how I feel before I even jumped anything. And and even then for me, it's been a pretty good week. I mean, for the most part, I'm busy. My evenings are just all over the place. And we're not going to go in next. I want to get to our topic, but so again, it's, I just got to do what I got to do. And that's the thing is I can't, I appreciate the fact that, a lot of the anxiety I've talked about, that's eased up a lot. So like right now, I definitely want to be in recovery mode. So I want to take it easy and enjoy the fact that I don't have anxiety anymore. I've gotten everything out, which, had to do with all the releasing and upgrades and stuff. So, that's, good news. I feel like, even though I'm not saying I'm 100%, I'm still not going to say that, but I'm still dealing with, other little things and stuff. So, but, you get what I'm saying. So anyway, so I will shut up about all that because that's not why you guys are here. Because a lot of you are here. I mean, granted, a lot of you, I appreciate the support, but we certainly wanted to jump into dreams, and that was something that it just hit me out of nowhere, and I thought it was appropriate. And I've always wanted to talk about it, and even then, I really wanted to finally kind of put it out there a little bit more to throw it out there that I do this. It's always been kind of in the reserve. Some people knew that I got into dream interpreting, and some don't. And it wasn't so much that I didn't want to announce it, because I enjoyed everything else, but there's so many times, and there's been I read people's posts. Sometimes they're talking about, oh my gosh, you should read this dream, and they tell the story, and I'm going and on the side, I'm going through it and just kind of picking it apart, but in a positive way. I'm finding out things, and it's helpful. And as we're going to get into it, helpful to understand who the person is, because that's key. And like I said, we're going to get into that here in just a moment. And so, so what I want to do is, like I said, I want to read verbatim. I want to read what dreams are, so that way you guys get the official title. Because obviously, I could tell you what it is, but why not hear it officially? And then we'll start getting into my personal opinions on it. Get me some coffee. So, like I said, I'm going to be looking over here for a second because I'm looking at my second screen. So I'm not ignoring you guys. But dreams. Like I said, I want to read that as much as possible, and then obviously, we'll get into it. So dreams. A dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntarily in the mind during certain stages of sleep. Humans spend about 2 hours dreaming per night, which we're going to discuss, and each dream lasts around 5 to 20 minutes. Okay, the content and function of dreams have been a topic of scientific, philosophical, and religious interest throughout the recorded history. Dream interpretations practiced by the Babylonians in the third millennia BCE and even earlier by the ancient Sumerians figures prominently in religious texts in several traditions and has played a lead role in psychotherapy. Let me see. I got to go over here. The human dream experience and what to make of it undergone sizable shifts in of course of history. Long ago, according to the writings of the Mesopotamian and ancient Egypt, dreams dictated post-dream behaviors to an extent sharply reduced in the later millennia. These ancient writings about dreams highlight visitation dreams where a dream figure, usually a deity or prominent forebear, commands the dreamer to take specific actions that may predict future events. The brain activity capable of formulating such dreams, rare among literate people in later eras, conforms to the bicameral mentality hypothesized by this Julian Jaynes as a dominant into the second or first millennia BCE. Framing the dream experience varies across cultures as well as through me. Do I want to read that one? Oh, yeah, this one's pretty good too. Debbie, I just saw what you're saying. I'm reading it from Wikipedia. So I copied and pasted it over. I just wanted a good generalized area because there's tons of information. I was looking the other day. There's so many different things and everybody's got their own take. I wanted one general source that I was reading from. One more thing, and then we'll get a little bit more into it. So dreaming and sleep are intertwined. Dreams occur mainly in the rapid eye movement, the REM stage of sleep, when brain activity is high and resembles that of being awake. Because REM sleep is detectable in many species, and because research suggests that all mammals experience REM, linking dreams to REM sleep has led to conjectures that animals dream. However, humans dream during non-REM sleep also, and are not REM awakenings elicit dream reports. To be studied, a dream must first be reduced to a verbal report, which is an account of the subject's memory of the dream, not the subject's dream experience itself. So dreaming by non-humans is currently unprovable, as is dreaming by human fetuses and pre-verbal infants. Interesting, isn't it not? So like I said, I just wanted to read that like straight up, so that way that's a good way to put it. And there's a lot of things in there that I want to address as we get into it, because I have personal opinions of a lot of it, and you guys can take that for however you want. And like I said, you could take it as a grain of salt, just from like the Mercury retro thing. You can do your own research. But let's see. So one of the things I saw, now you can't deny, what science does. You can't deny the studies and all that stuff. And I, like I said, I agree to it. Now, when they talked about, your dream, humans spend about 2 hours of dreaming per night, lasting, each dream 5 to 20 minutes. I really have always been on the fence on that one. Like I said, I get the whole point of rapid eye movement, which is like what you experience during the day. Your eyes are moving constantly. I'm looking all over the place. I just haven't personally put that on there, because I look at the what happens if it's not so much you're dreaming, but what happens is if you're connecting to a higher being or your guides, which we know and we've talked about before. Who's to say that it's not dreaming that you're dealing with, but you're right. Right, Jeff. I just can't get behind the fact that that's all it is that if it's the eye, the rapid eye movement, that just is, you're automatically dreaming for 2 hours. I just don't see that. Again, that's my opinion. That's not saying that, and I'm not going against what science has done and all the studies, and totally, you know what I mean? But I think there's other things going on, just from my personal experience, what, as I've researched it myself, and obviously being a guinea pig myself, and you just can't help question it, which is good, and it's healthy to question it. It doesn't mean that I'm saying absolutely 100% that's not true. What I'm seeing or what experiences, it just doesn't always match up to that. You know what I mean? So let's see. Debbie, if dreaming happens in REM, what dreaming you experienced before that? Right. That's a great question. What is happening? Because there's obviously different levels of sleep. So you got to go through one phase, then you got to go to the next. And I'm not terrible with all the. I think there's three phases. I think it is, but it's. I mean, you kind of do that stuff if you guys are hardcore, meditation experts. But you go through phases just like doing mediumship. I can't be at a crazy state to think that things are going to work. I have to quiet my mind down, which is for me, because I've done it for so long now. It's a couple breaths and I'm in. I've gone from a crazy mind to a completely low level, which is in a way is hovering in that dreamlike state even though I'm wide awake. So that could be kind of some answers in there too, that you can literally shift it just on what you're thinking. Hmm. But and Margaret, you're saying, we're having a visit from someone. That was the whole point. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, your guides could be coming in, your loved ones could be coming in and giving you messages. Absolutely. Now, then it begs the question as to the whole, why is it that and this was a thing I really wanted to touch on too, is why do we remember some dreams and why we don't remember some dreams? Because I think we've all done that. How many times you're like, oh man, I had a bad dream, or oh man, I had a great dream, and we can't remember a single second of it. It's funny, as frustrating it is for me, because of again, researching it and investigating it for me, for my purposes of just wanting to have some idea or knowledge or whatever. It's like, it's exciting because it's like, why was it that why did I have it? Because you need some idea to retain, so that way you could figure out what the message is. Now I look at it because from my perspective, doing spiritual and holistic sessions and practices, I look at it as that the information wasn't something that your conscious self needed. It is that your spiritual side, uh, from the mental aspect of it, needed it. That's how I look at it. Now, whether I'm right or wrong, who knows? But that's what I feel strongly about, is that when we don't remember something, good or bad, there's something internally that it needed to experience that, which will eventually come out at some other point, whether it's that day, week, months, years, it's going to happen at some point, which again has what I've experienced and noticed, and even then, sometimes when you have these dreams, it doesn't hurt for you to sit there and and ask your guides, your angels, if you believe in them or have them on you, ask them to give you the information again, because if it was something important, you're going to experience that dream again. Might be a little different, might be the same thing, but go to the point of where you can sit there and talk to them. And again, I know some of you have met your guides, some of you haven't, and I'm using guides as just a broad term. But do it to where you feel, even if you don't know who they are, but still call to them, ask them. Your guides are there for you. I mean, you don't have to be afraid of them, but ask them, if there was something you really needed to know, or then go ahead and ask. But at the same time, don't make it like, it's going to make you lose sleep over it. You don't want to lose sleep over it, because again, that's just my opinion, is that I think internally you needed it versus what your conscious self was wanting to know. Yes, our Western minds, we love to know everything. We want to know everything. And we're going to fight to get that answer. But in this field, I've pulled back a lot of things that you just can't, you can't dive. There's things that you need to know consciously, and there's things that you don't. That's just the way it's been for me. So, I just want to read a couple comments. Yeah, Carrie. Yeah, I agree. A discussion lesson for what is to come, preps to, so to speak, but not to know the time. Yep. Valerie. But what about nightmares? Why would someone need to experience that? So yes, we can let's see, make sure okay. Debbie, exactly. That's what our Western minds want to do. And I've gotten that so used to that routine of not doing, hey Stacy, good morning, hope you're feeling better. And that's one thing that is interesting. And so we can let's just we'll dive into because again, I have notes that I just want to make sure I hit certain things. And then like I said, I want to actually right in front of you, I'm going to go through. I had one person, and I don't remember if I got her permission to use her name or not. I don't remember, but I'm going to read what she wrote me. She wrote a dream, and I'm going to show you guys what it's like to dissect a dream from my perspective. And then even her, she is in the chat room. She's going to hear it live for the first time, so I did not tell her I was gonna wait to the show to go through and explain things. And then she sent me a couple others, and there might be a few others I might just sneak little parts in just to show you what it's about. Oh, good, Stacy. Yeah, I hate that stuff. So I'm curious, guys. Let's say, Carrie, what do you got? I have a question going under. Know that the answer to me text the next morning, but cannot recall what they told me yet when the situation came up. I just not. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome, Carrie. That's perfect. See, that's what I'm saying. I think when you don't remember the dreams, not that I'm saying it is every single time, but I think like I said, how I explained it, when I feel like it's internal, it is a situation or it's a moment or something that's going on or just some awareness that you're good to go, and just kind of like the fact of like just knowing things. It's great to be educated in the sense of that, if there's passions that you're into, that a lot about it, and then you just know, you can shout it out, or somebody asks you a question, you can just blur it, you just know it. And so in these situations, there was something within that information that you dreamt that you needed deep down, so that way you knew however you were going to handle it, deal with it, the whether it's the next day or so forth. So um let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go too far. Margaret, I wish those communications were more direct, not so much symbolism. You think the message was something important. I got you. I'll get there, Margaret. We're going to get into that. Jen, exactly. Dreams are primarily our subconscious mind working through things that we're experiencing consciously. Nightmares are typically our fears and worries being shown to us. Yes, they can also be a premonition of visitations, good and bad, but most often they are subconscious mind talking to you metaphorically. um, Oh, cool. All right, Stacy. My third I picked up on a young boy this week standing next to my. Ooh, okay. All right. So good and bad dreams. And since that was the thing, is what about the nightmares? Why do we need nightmares? I talked to somebody just the other day about this, and it's nightmares to me are very important. I mean, so are the good ones. I mean, we like the good ones, but why do we have the nightmare ones? Because you remember them the very next day. Doesn't mean you don't remember the good ones, but the nightmare ones, you really remember things. You're able to say what's going on in that situation. I mean, even if it's really, really bad. I mean, people dying, you're dying, friends, family are dying. To that magnitude, there's a key to it. And again, it doesn't mean that stuff's gonna happen. But just like when you do like tarot reading and stuff like that, if you get the death card, oh my God, I'm gonna die. No, 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 that's not the case. And that's how I look at it with dreams. There's things hidden in there. And again, it depends on what's bad in the dream, what's happening, what the situation, because technically what we're looking at and what I'm looking at in other dream interpreters is that you're looking for what it means in your life. And that's truly why, if you give me, like, if somebody comes to me and gives me a couple sentences worth of a dream, hey, I remember this. Okay, that's great. We can kind of pick at things, but there's also a lot missing. Now, I get it. Like I said, sometimes we remember some of the dream, half of the dream, or all of the dream. The more you can remember from the dream or take the time to, again, if you could write it down, or as soon as you are awake enough to write it down, do that. Because even then, sometimes sometimes you'll remember more because you started to write it down. And so, hey, what's up, man? And what's neat about it is that you sit there and Because even the person that I'm going to read some of her dreams to you guys, the she remembered more. And that was great because we were talking about it, even though we were just typing messages back and forth, but we talked about it. So the key thing is, there is importance to it. So a bad dream is something because you need to remember it because there's something that you are going to have to do or you're going to have to learn from. So that way you aren't in a so you're kind of prepared for whatever it might be. And sometimes it's a harsh reality of something. Again, kind of like when I was reading the thing, it is based on oh geez, I'm getting messages. Um, it's based on things that are going on in your life, and that, like I said, that's key to me because somebody can tell me a dream. I can give you like I think yeah. So like Margaret's talking about dream books. They're fine. They're good. You know, you can look at this animal shows up in your dream, and there's a classic. Well, what does the animal mean? You know, I'm okay with that. But my thing is what I have through my dreams, through family, sharing dreams, and some of you have shared some dreams with me. That doesn't always necessarily mean that that's going to be the true symbol for it. You know what I mean? And like I said, we could go a lot of different ways with anything in the world, but I don't look at like if it's an animal, I don't sit there and say, well, it's because of what the animal's known for or how that reflects to you. It's not necessarily the case. What I need to do is I need to find out from you personally what's going on with you in your life and see how that animal relates to it. Yeah, it is kind of a little bit of a, sort of seeing if we can match it up, but there's other things that are involved. And that's why we need to uh, really sit down and go through your dreams so that way we can. Because it's fascinating and it can be work. I've had some people give me some dreams and I've had to sit on it because I wasn't entirely sure. And one of them, I took about a good 24 hours to kind of read it several times. Granted, what helped is I knew who this person was, and I was able to sort of, say, well, is this, kind of like almost like where you're doing mediumship, you get a message where it's like, well, that's kind of weird. I wonder what that means for them. And so you say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. What is that? And that's kind of like what it is with dreams, because I need to find out what's going on with it. So that way we can tie it to. And a couple weeks ago, I was doing one for a friend. And when I said, well, this is what it's showing, and these are why these characters and these areas, these situations, and then she was like, oh man, she was going through it. Then she started telling me like, okay, well, this is kind of going on, and then this is going on. And I'm like, woohoo, okay. So we can see that there's the reason for it. And it was a scary dream. It was more of a nightmare for her, but we found out things. And then I was able to say, well, this is, some things you need to look at, things you need to kind of focus on, or, maybe adjust or, reevaluate. And so that's the exciting thing about it. That's why I love doing it, and granted, there still is going to be dreams that really don't have a message at all. I found that too. There's literally none in it. And it's weird to think because for me, it's like, I want something to always mean something every single time. Nope, doesn't happen. So, as frustrating as that can be, there isn't always, but a lot of times there is. So, yeah, thank you, Jen. Yeah, what does the symbol mean to you and how does it make you feel? Exactly. And like I said, I'm not against any of those books and what the symbols themselves mean. Not against it at all. Like I said, there is, there's some validity to, saying what this animal is or what this tree is or what this rock is, we can go there, and even then we can look at that was, like a rock. We'll just tie in it. Well, rock is strong. It's, solid. It's together. It's old, and that's great. You know what I mean? That's great. And in fact, so the person I'm going to read the dream for she wrote me a series of short dreams or dreams that were really wacky. And one of them, and I'm not going to read that one because I got the other one pulled up right now, but just the general senses of it. She went on a trip. excuse me, on an airplane, was at the hotel, and this alligator flew by the window and then came back and was staring at her through the window. How I mean, that's pretty wacky, right? I mean, that's wild. Like, going on like a trip, alligator flies by the window, comes back and is staring at her through the window. So I looked at it and I said, granted, in these, I don't remember if those were a little while ago. I can't remember the date, but like I said, I've got her other one pulled up. But I said, yeah, we can look at the alligator for what it is, strong, it's ferocious, you know. But what's one thing about the alligator when you look aside from its appearance? Alligators, crocodiles, how many times have we heard that they've been around other than changing slightly, but they've been around since the dinosaurs. They've been one of the few reptiles that have survived. Yes, I mean, yeah, they're not as big as a classic dinosaur, but so I looked at it from when reading it, combining with the airplane, the flying, and everything. Is I looked at the alligator as that it's a guide for her. Not necessarily that the alligator is the true image of it, but what it's showing is that she's got a guide, a strong guide, because we're gonna look at the alligator for what it is. But there's a strong guide looking at her that's very ancient and old. And when I told her that, she came back. She goes, "Oh my God, that gave me goosebumps." Right, because we're not always looking at the very tip of it. We're looking at what else there is beyond it. So that's a little tidbit for you guys. It's what else is beyond the normal visual appearance that the alligator or whatever animal or any other object, is all about. So, okay, don't go away. All right. Right, Dad. So I'm going to read most of it. There's a couple little spots I'm probably going to omit, but I'm going to read a couple of them and then we're going to go through it a little bit because, we doing pretty good on time. But like I said, I just want to give you guys a good taste. And even then, for me looking at something live with you, and then we're going to deep dive it real quick. And that should get us to about 10:30. So about 20 minutes left, maybe we'll go over a couple. We'll see. So again, I'm not going to use any names. I'm not going to say there's a spot, where there's a list of people. I'm not going to truly spell all that out. But they were, so this is her telling me, she goes, we were walking, and she journaled this. That was the cool thing, is just she had a journal next to the bed and then wrote all this out, which is great. Cause again, there's a lot of good things in here. So we were walking and found an overgrown tunnel, lifted the cover off and went down with me and then some people. I'm not going to specify that way. I don't give any information out. Walked around and found a young man down there. When we walked into a room that had black tar-like substance, started sticking to the black stuff, and the others pulled me back. Started walking back the other direction. Then we were in a kitchen area, and the young guy was showing us his drawings. When we heard people trying to close the opening to the tunnel, we ran to get back to the top. The guy didn't want us to leave, but we ran to get to the ladder. We got out and was walking in the woods by a stream. Okay. Now, did you guys see? I don't know if you guys saw it like I do. Did you see all there's a lot of very cool details in there? So like I said, this is what will help you guys out when you start having these dreams like we're supposed to be having right now too, paying attention to your dreams. So finding a tunnel. Okay. That's the first one. Now, in my practices, tunnels, things of that sort, especially since a tunnel, it's going into, granted, she climbed down into it. Her and the other people climbed down into something. Now, if you look at it from my perspective, and I'm not saying that this is, her and the people that were with her, is their beliefs or anything like that, but it still has some relevance to it. But going down into it is like me, it's a shamanic journey type of thing. anybody that's ever studied a little bit of shamanic journeys or heard somebody talk about it, there's always going down or going through and then having, she talked about a ladder and stuff. That's key. That's all key information. So we're talking about a spiritual type world. Okay. Um, so that's one of the parts. So with her and the people who were with her, we're kind of doing a little bit of a spiritual journey. Okay. Um, okay. They walked around. So again, yeah, this area is huge. I mean, whether it's seems like there you go. Thank you, Carrie. That's perfect. I should have said that lower world, but correct. And she's walking around. There's things, they're looking at things, I'm sure, there might've been other things that she noticed but just didn't recall all of that during the dream. Okay. So they're walking around. Well, then they come across somebody. They come, and they go into a room. They find a person standing there. Guide. just to be clear, just to clarify that, guide. And they walked into the room and it had this black tar like substance. Now, you guys have heard me say a million times probably is when I do cleanses cleanses on somebody personally, or I'm doing a home. That's the classic thing that I see as far as like negativity. And it's not meant to be scary, but what it is just showing that there is things that are a part of this person that they kind of need to kind of take off. And so what did they do? She had the people that were with her help pull her free. Okay. So that's what that's all talking about, is cleansing. They're in need of a cleanse. Now I know this person and they are getting work by another person that's in the chat room. So again, I don't want to use names for this because I want to keep, I didn't get all the permission. So, but that's the thing, is that being devoted to it and, getting this funk off of you. You know what I'm saying? It's the stuff that just doesn't belong. And it's not like, yeah, Debbie, you can look at, I don't look at it as like a key attachment, because I mean, it is attached to you. Yes. I'm just careful on using that wording. I don't attachments to me, because I do the paranormal side of things. That's usually just like a spirit latching on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so I'm kind of holding on a little bit, you know what I mean? So, but I like the fact that it was sticky. She was stuck in it and stuff. Oh, and Jen's giving, got her little thing in there. Do I want to read it? I'm trying to. Okay, I'll read it because I've already read this several times. Okay, Jen's saying going down caves, etc., is the subconscious mind, kitchen, creation, manifestation, creativity. Absolutely. When I was getting to there, I will agree with that. Black tar, feeling stuck, so essential. She's stuck in her ascension, creation, manifestation. The stream is the waters of creation. See. Jen's got it perfect. That's exactly all that stuff. Now, the other part that I don't think she caught, but that is exactly, let me put that back up there. So that's exactly what I was going to be going to. Like I said, I was going through it one line at a time, but it is so true. Yes, we're in the kitchen. We're cooking things. We're, making things. Okay. The fact that the person, the guide that's there, he was showing drawings. Well, what are drawings? I mean, we're not talking artist. We're not drawing like, artwork that goes on a wall. That's not what we're saying. The drawings are showing like a map for this person. Okay. Now, even if it had like, a photo or something on it, again, we're looking at what's it really means in the end, not what we're seeing visually. We just know that it was a, drawing. Well, it's a roadmap for her. So that was the other thing I wanted to add in there. Okay, no problem, Debbie. All right, and Jen, yeah, and the flow of spirit energy through one's energy field in the woods in her energy. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, in that all ties in, because again, you guys have heard me say time and time again with, we all came from Mother Nature, the Earth Mother. We have such a strong tie to it that we've lost a lot of that, and I've talked about that so many times, so I'm not going to repeat too much. But all that stuff, the fact of being grounded again, being a part of something and gaining just the energy from the earth is huge. Now, yeah, we're in winter, most of us are, cold. We don't want to go outside for very long. I get that. I was already outside, for a couple of minutes doing my prayers, and, I just forget about the whole fact that it's cold because it's I want to do this real quickly because I need to get it done. You know what I mean? I want to get it done and I want to be out there amongst it, regardless, if it's cold or not. So no, it doesn't provide that, Dad. I'm sorry. Uh, that's you know, there's no such thing as monetary gains, from Earth Mother. She doesn't go that route because she didn't have any of it, and there was nothing created like that. So, but good attempt. But so hopefully, like you guys can get to kind of see now. Again, I know this person a little bit, and we've talked and shared some things, so I knew some of this stuff is applying to her life right now. Things that she wants to get into, things that she's asking and questioning. And like I said, there's another person in the chat room that does holistic work that they both have been connected and they've been working, and that's huge, beautiful thing. Exactly, Valerie. No, it does not. But gosh, I wish it did. um, but so that's the fun part about this, and I can't say it enough because it is so true. When you really look at these things and you deep dive it and you really see, Jen did a great job of spitting it out before I did. And so it was great of her. And it is so fascinating to see how it can help you in your life. And that's the main part. Sure. Like I said, you love the good dreams because they just make you all feel warm and cozy. But the nightmares have a point. And like I said, it's truly making a statement that you can remember it, that you can see what it is within it that you can change. And that's gigantic. So I have to thank her for sending that to me. I'm trying to remember if there were some other things. Yeah, I won't get to all the others and things, but yeah, I mean, let's see. Hey, Shannon. No worries, no worries. Yeah, we sort of just started to get that tail. But so I hope, like I said, this is something that we probably could go on for at least another hour or two. And even then, some of you could easily, put in some bits and pieces of a dream and we can kind of dive through it and things. But, I love it. Like I said, I've said it many times already in this broadcast that, I love looking at it. I love when people send them to me. And even my own daughter, it's fascinating. She knows I'm into the dream interpreting and it's amazing, especially on a weekend. Like if she has a dream like on a Friday night or Saturday night, and of course, I'll already be up, 6:30 type of thing. And, I'll be on the computer. Maybe I'm responding to messages or, doing whatever and researching something, and it's so weird to have somebody come flying down the stairs, thinking it's probably my son or something. And she'll come over there. And like, that's the thing. She beelines for me first and she'll come stand right there. And she goes, I had this dream. And then like I get my hands off the keyboard and I'm turning like, all right, where are we going? And even for my daughter who's 13, it's I appreciate the fact that she's willing to come tell me them. And even for a 13-year-old, to see if there is something that she may need to know or something she needs to work on it. And funny enough, and again, since I know her really well, it's so cool to see like what's in the dream and then realize what it's either confirming in her real life, obviously, or things that maybe she needs to be aware of or something that she needs to change or something. And it's always great because, when I point those out, so I let her, go through the whole thing and maybe I'll ask a couple questions or, because sometimes there's maybe some other details if I can get, it'll just help me solidify what she's, or what the messages are really trying to say for her. And so, and then when I tell sometimes, there's smiles, sometimes there's this like, and this shocked look or pretty much all the emotions of it. It's so fun to get to do that. And I've had some other family members come to me about dreams and stuff, and you know, there's one in particular. Again, I'm not going to call them out, but or anything, but they hit me up when some things are really weird, and I get that. You usually don't always get the good ones. Sometimes it's always the weird, wacky ones or the nightmare ones, and that's okay. But again, what is it, what people don't share always the good ones. They share you the weird, strange ones, or they're hitting you with the nightmare ones, and because that's the ones that stand out, and that's the point that I was saying all along. Oh, they always the weird ones and bad ones are the ones that always stand out, and that's great. Like I said, those are important too. But it also is nice to get those good ones because again, sometimes it's important for them too. Maybe it's confirming or validating things that they're doing that is that they're on the right track or they're doing things, whatever it is. So well, so now that's a great question, Dad. Reoccurring dreams. If it's the same one, it's because you're not picking it up the very first time. That's the classic, because you're not getting it. And that's why earlier you missed if you're having the dream and you didn't remember some bits of it or you don't remember it at all, it doesn't hurt for you to just kind of say within your head saying, hey, can I have that dream again? Doesn't always mean it's going to happen, and it might even change, but it doesn't hurt to ask, like, man, I really want to know what that dream was about, or I really want to experience that dream again. Doesn't hurt to throw it out there to try to get it again. So if you can get it again, then obviously you can sort of remember it more, pick out some details and see what it means for you in your life. So, but yeah, I mean, once in a blue moon, I mean, I've had, roughly the same dream a couple times, and it's like, wow, I didn't, sometimes you're shocked that you can have it repeat again. But when you finally like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Oh man, okay, I got it now. And thank you for giving me that dream again, or maybe shifting it to where it is a little bit more understandable, even though it's still kind of out there. Yep. So, right, Shannon, that's a great one. It's showing you different endings. Exactly. Well, again, Dad, if it's a bad dream, a strange dream, it's because you're not getting it. There's something you really need to be aware of, or something you need to change. It's just kind of an exclamation point after a serious statement. We need to make sure you know this, and your guides and the God creator and relatives that have passed on. I mean, they're going to give it their best shot. They're going to try to let you know as much as they can to help you out. But sometimes we just don't see it. Sometimes we don't get it, and we just kind of blow it off and we move on. And that's been common for a long time. So let's see. Oh, it's as if you learn not to ignore it, but address it. Yeah, thanks. That's great, Shannon. I had a dream of one of my sons being into the parent. Yeah, that's sad, Dad. That's really sad. I don't know who that is. I don't know who you're talking to. A son in the paranormal. Pfft, don't know any of those. Okay, let's see. Margaret's got something interesting. Okay, I've had one since I was 12. Thus, we know when we're going to lose someone within a short time of having. Yeah, that's as close to like a psychic moment, and I've been in those situations myself. That was some of the first strange things that happened to me early on. I was 10 and a half years old for my first sort of psychic dream in a way where, I watched an entire event happen the very next morning. And I mean, everything to a T happened. And it was weird because it was sort of during a dream. But again, that's where we get our information is in dreams for those that haven't put the time in to connect, while awake, Well, sure, Margaret. Yeah, it's not a pleasant dream to experience and know that somebody's not going to be around. Because obviously if it's family or a close friend and stuff that's, you don't want to lose anybody and deal with the emotions of it. And so, yeah, it's not at all. Let's see, Carrie, then there are those of us who travel when sleeping. Telling the difference between a dream and a travel experience can be a challenge. Ooh, gosh, that's interesting, Carrie. I see, for me, the remote viewing kind of gets in there where there's the travel where you're in the dream-like, state. And But to be able to do that within a dream, you're sort of still doing that remote viewing astral projection side of it. It's just you've kind of combined it. Not that you probably did it intentionally, but there's a reason for it. Obviously, depending on where you went and what you were doing in this particular location, or situation that you were dealing with, has some relevance to it. So you would have to deep dive it and see, if it matched up, in the end. Um, let's see, Debbie. Family members that pass come to me in my dreams and relay messages to others. That's perfect. Stacy. I have dreams that I am pregnant and then someone I know is pregnant. Only once did the baby not survive, and my best friend had a miscarriage. Well, yeah. Amazing how that, again, we get a lot of information downloaded into us overnight, and that's where I differ when it comes to labeling that we are dreaming for 2 hours a night, because I don't all think it's necessarily a dream. I think you do have some dreams, but then I also think there's that information that's coming there, and something like that where you end up experiencing something or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's always a shame, to then have that happen, and then then it really, you experience it, and then it's like, oh my gosh, it's an eye-opening. I mean, that first time I had that psychic dream was because of somebody that was dying, and it shook me, which was weird because at the same time I should have been super emotional but we also were prepared that this was going to happen soon anyway. But when everything happened to literally a T, I was kind of shell shocked in a way. I mean, I was standing exactly where I knew I was going to stand, and that's all I could do was remember what that dream was showing me. And it was weird because I'm battling two things. I'm one, somebody close to me died, and then this is happening. It's like, whoa. So yeah, that first time it happens, it's a weird one to kind of digest. So, oh, cool, Sharon. Well, flying in your dreams, has a lot of things. There's things you need to do personally. I think, Sharon, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes you do feel like you're a little bit tied down, if I'm not mistaken. And so knowing a little bit about, what you got going on in your life, sometimes you definitely want to feel like you can get away for a while and take a break. So I know that's probably where that comes in. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I thought, you are tied down a lot. So to feel like you're needing to get out and do things, that makes clear sense. And it means you need to break. Let's see. Stacy, I had a dream before she made the pregnancy public. I didn't even know she was pregnant when I had, yeah. Well, and that's the thing is we're all connected in some way, our guides, and with it being a friend, that's huge. And, it's weird to then kind of share that, and be like, hey, Harold, what's going on, sir? Sometimes, let's see, Carrie, sometimes past life and other lifetime, usually the lessons in somewhere in there. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it could. Well, and again, we learn from the past. We learn from the mistakes that we made, or, from others. Again, I think that's just common, I mean, we should be, so that way we don't make those mistakes moving forward. Shannon, I love the visit dreams after they had gone to the other side, but yeah, the first time for me was shocking because the individual looked so good compared to the time when they were here and dying. Yeah. Dang. Yep. So about less than a minute or so left. Well, I hope in some way this, gave people a little bit more insight into it, especially if you weren't really, into it or weren't sure about it and things. It is a topic that we could go on and I think I'm going to probably well, I mean, I've always been doing it, but I think, one of these things I might turn this into a future presentation, to try to get it in within an hour, but I would love to get into that, and maybe do this a little bit more publicly, other than, obviously the show is great. But to be able to do this too, because obviously, when you get around other people and then they might raise their hands and be like, hey, what about this? Or, or come up to me afterwards and share things. Cause I mean, it's a common thing, I mean, we all experience dreams in some way, and sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. So, Yeah, Dad. Yeah, less of a bedroom, not to have it again. Exactly. So pay attention to what it means. Jennifer, I had a dream about my brother called my name and nobody was there. Okay. Yep. Yep. I get you, Jennifer. I know the situation. Yep. And Shannon, yeah, that happened for me. Jennifer, back to the dream with the kitchen and art, the energy that is stuck in the sacral chakra. Okay. Thanks, Jen. I'm sure that person's still watching so they can pick up on that. Hey, Chad. I remember being born. I remember being angry. I remember forgetting what I'm here for. I remember where I came from before this life and many others. My dreams aren't dreams, they're memories. That's a great way. I like that, Chad. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, a lot of times it can just highlight things about yourself, learn things about yourself, whether it's this lifetime or in the past. Because again, a lot of us have done, some of us have done past life regressions where we've found out that we've been around a little bit. We're still trying to get that year in or that lifetime in that we've sort of not done bad things, things like that, but we've got to the point where we have focused enough to where we've done enough positive things that we can help others and share the information or learn from our mistakes so that we won't do them in the current life, and then that way we can move on, and obviously we can even come back and then help others out from the other side of things. So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Chad. We're at 10:32, so I am a couple minutes over. Like I said, we might have gone over, but we did. So I am going to get out of here. I'm going to let you guys enjoy your weekend. Some of us have Monday off for Martin Luther King Day. So if you get a 3-day weekend like I do, enjoy it, make it the best you can. And other than that, yep, we'll be back at it. Not a single clue as to what I'm going to do next week. But that's okay because again, I like to try to keep things a little bit more, on the spot. But if something hits me like it did, last week, it hit me pretty quickly, and so I will share that with you all. And so within the next couple of days, you never know, you might see a new show pop up for what I might do next week, or if not, I'll kind of get a bunch of little things and we'll just kind of dive through it like we always do. And like always, if you guys have awesome things going on and or questions, let me know and hit me up, and we can I'll add that to the show and we can answer things and dive into it. Sharon, have a fantastic day. Margaret, have a great day. Nicole, have a great rest of your birthday and weekend. Debbie, thank you so much. Have a great one. Shannon, take care. Blessings. Harold, you take care, sir. Have a great day. Rachel, thank you. And Dad, we'll see you soon. Carrie, have a great weekend as well. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. And thank you, Jen, for all your information. I can't forget you on that. So thank you, Jen. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get this thing downloaded to audio only and get that out there for anybody that wants to check it out. And if you're watching the show back, thank you for coming back and seeing it or rewatching it. That's always a good, fun thing. But so yeah, so you guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. All my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. And I will see you again next time. Thank you.